Baruch haba, and welcome back to another Alef Tav treasure from this week's Torah portion in Vayikra. This one is found in Leviticus chapter 2, verse 14. And I just went ahead and wrote the whole verse down, breaking it down, because this verse in Hebrew is pretty different from the one in English. So let's look real quick at the English translation. We have Leviticus 2:14 that says, "If you offer a grain offering of your first fruits to Yahovah, you shall offer for the grain offering of your first fruits green heads of grain roasted on the fire, grain beaten from full heads." Okay, and here you can see our standalone Alef Tav in that verse. But let's go to our breakdown. And you can turn in your Bible, pull up your eSword or your Blue Letter Bible, and follow along if you want. We have and if. Takriv is if, and if you draw near or approach to bring an offering of your first fruits, minchat bikurim, and the reason I circled these, minchat bikurim, is because we have it again down here, minchat bikurecha. So this is your first fruits down here, and a gift or offering of your first fruits, but we'll come back up again to gift or offering of first fruits, the plural, to Yahovah, aviv, which is the fresh young barley ears, also where Tel Aviv is the same word. So we have fresh young barley, parched or roasted, kalui, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, it doesn't feel right, kalui, ba'esh, in fire, in esh, fire. Now this word, geras, is only in the Bible twice. And the second time it's in the Bible is in verse 16, 2 verses down from here. But it means a crushing, that which is crushed. Geras is that word. And then we have Carmel, like Mount Carmel. But Carmel means a planted field, fruitful field, plentiful field, or garden. So altogether we have if you draw near to give an offering or a present of first fruits to Yahovah of the aviv, of fresh barley ears, parched or roasted in fire, crushed, a planted field, a fruitful field. And then we have draw near again, which is the same as this word, takriv. So it's like we're starting a new section here. And then Alef Tav, which is our Yeshua. So draw near or approach Yeshua with your present or offering of your first fruits. You could read it like that, or you could say draw near, approach with Alef Tav as your offering of your first fruits. Because we do know that he was our first fruits, and he was put through the fire, in a fire, and he was crushed, which reminds me of the Isaiah 53 verse where it says he was bruised for our iniquities, that verse, but it is a different word, which is the reason why I didn't really use that in this video, but so Yeshua was put through the fire, he was crushed, and we know that he was our first fruits, our minchat. So, in putting all this together, I put John 20:17 down, which reads, Yeshua said to her, "Do not cling to me, for I have not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, and to my Elohim and your Elohim." And in what verse was that? It was John 20, I think. Still. It's when the women come to the tomb. Yeah. She supposing him to be the gardener. Well, she supposed he was the gardener because he was picking the first fruits to take to his father. He was going to be ascending with the first fruits. So, I won't tell you how to read this Hebrew part with the Alef Tav. Just go to the Spirit and see what he says about it. Now, for those who don't know, the 3 days and 3 nights of when Yeshua was in the tomb, you can go ahead and turn the video off right now. But for those who are unsure about the 3 days and 3 nights, or those who say that he died on Friday and was raised on Sunday, which is not 3 days and 3 nights, let's go over that and look. I've written out here a week, first day, Sunday, Monday, etc. Yeshua would have had his Passover with his guys on the 3rd day, which was Tuesday, and that is found in Matthew 26:17 through 20. I've put the verses on here. So that night is when Judas brings the people to the Garden of Gethsemane to arrest him. So all that happened. Need to just lay it down. All that happened this night, Tuesday night, which once the sun goes down, Hebraically we know that it's the next day. So the Hebrew days starts when the sun goes down. So Wednesday is when he went to Pilate and Caiaphas, and they scourged him and put him on the cross. Yeshua dies the 9th hour, it says, which is 3 p.m. There's the verse for that, Matthew 27:46. So this night, since he dies at 3 p.m., this night is our first night that he's in the tomb. We can count 1, 2, 3 nights he's in the tomb, and then he is raised on Shabbat after 3 p.m., but before the sun goes down. There is no verse that says that, but we're going by the 3 days and 3 nights. Why would he stay in the tomb any longer than the 3 days and 3 nights? So he has to be resurrected after 3 p.m. sometime. But okay, we've got our three nights determined. On Thursday, he's in the tomb, and it's a high Sabbath because the Pharisees' Passover was this night. So he's in the tomb all this day. That was a full day. He's in the tomb all of this day. Friday was when they could buy and sell again. So Mary Magdalene and Mary, Yeshua's mother, and Salome went and bought spices on this day because they could buy on Friday, and they take it to the tomb, which is Mark 16:1. And then Mark 16:2 is when they go on the first day of the week. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Okay, so Yeshua dies on Wednesday. Here's one whole day till 3 p.m. That's 1, 2, and then the third day to 3 p.m. So we have our 3 nights, 1, 2, and 3, and we have our 3 days, 1, 2, and 3. That is the sign that Yeshua says has to come about because, as he said, Jonah was in the well for 3 days and 3 nights. And then, on Sunday morning, when they wake up, they go to the tomb and find that the tomb is already open because he would have already risen and he would have been picking the firstfruits to his father that night. Is a full moon because we know that Passover is always during a full moon, so he would have been able to see just fine. I'll just read what I have here. Yeshua had risen on Sabbath, and after Sabbath was over, he began picking the firstfruits to take it to his father, which is why they thought he was the gardener in John 20:15. He was picking the firstfruits by the full moon, since Passover is always during the full moon. So there you have your 3 days and 3 nights when Yeshua was in the tomb. All right, and he is our firstfruits. He didn't come out of the tomb and say, well, I did what I was supposed to do, and I'm not going to take the firstfruits because I've done everything. No, he still is doing the commands of the Father. And even today, I submit to you that he is still doing the commandments of the Father perfectly. But anyway, thank you for joining me, and that's probably going to be it for today. Hope you have a blessed week, and Shavua Tov.